Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. My name is George Hughes. I'm one of the Tergar International Facilitators. Welcome to Stay Home and Meditate. I'm happy to be here with you once again. Today, I'm going to say a few words about Sunday's topic. Tergar instructor Tim Olmsted talked a little bit on Sunday. We're going to meditate together for a bit. And then if we've got some time, we'll take some practice questions. Is the echo any better now? I'll take that as a maybe, maybe not. Not yet better. Okay, not sure what to do about that. Can you hear me now? Okay, now it's all right. Okay, so we'll meditate together. Then if we've got some time, we'll take some practice questions. So Tim on Sunday talked a little bit about patience. And in the current unsettling times, these turbulent times, the whole idea of patience can really be a stretch for a lot of us. All the things that are going on around the globe, the pandemic, the lockdowns all around the world, people not being able to go to work, other changes to our daily lives, and that's not even mentioning the social and racial unrest that's been going on in the U.S. and other places around the world. So patience, the way we understand it, it's something that, well, first off, it's a product, one of the benefits of our meditation practice. It helps us to deal with everything that's going on with balance, with some clarity. And being patient doesn't mean being immobile. It doesn't mean not responding. It just means that we don't respond with afflicted mind. We respond with balance and clarity. The mind of patience is flexible, it's open, it's resilient. We really need patience when we undertake any big task. Mingyur Rinpoche is fond of using the example of climbing a mountain. You know, if you decide to climb up to the top of a mountain, you're going to have great days. You're going to have ups. You're going to go up the hill. You're going to come down the hill. You're going to have delays. You're going to have detours. Just because we encounter these doesn't mean we're not getting closer to our goal at the top of the mountain. We need to take a bit of a longer view than what's right in front of us, sort of the airplane's cruising altitude view, so that we get a bigger idea of the big picture. Some of the benefits of patience is we get an environment of peace in us, peace around us, as a result of understanding who we are, where we are, how we are. We can start to understand how the world is, because it's part and parcel with wisdom. Change, again, this is a direct result of our mind training, of our meditation. One of the things that patience takes into consideration is the fact that things are impermanent. Change is inevitable. Change is going to happen. Things will not be the same today as they were yesterday. They're not going to be the same tomorrow that they were today. I know when I start to get tight around things, like I have the last, whatever, it's sort of accumulated over the last few months, I guess. I've found myself feeling more sensitive, more irritable. But at least I notice it, Sometimes I can allow these emotions to just exist in spaciousness, in openness. I can just notice them instead of saying, yes, sir, or trying to fight them out. And then, of course, there are other times where I do get swept away, but eventually I recognize it. And that is a practice from my meditation, or a benefit of my meditation. So let's see if we can practice together. So let's just take a moment here to find your posture. Nice long spine. Relax everything else around that nice, comfortable support. And take just a few moments to appreciate the fact that we're interested in questions like this. Who am I? How do I relate to the world? We have a path to follow. We have friends sharing this path with us. So maybe take a moment to appreciate that as you settle into your seat. And then take a moment to set an aspiration, either for this session or this day or this week or maybe the rest of the year. May our practice benefit ourselves and benefit others. May it help us to be more balanced and more clear. And as a result, may we serve as a positive agent for those around us. Just sitting and getting comfortable with that. And then take some time to notice your breath. We did this a few weeks ago or a few months ago. Just begin to notice your breath. There's no need to change it. There's no need to focus on any particular quality or aspect of breath. Eyes can be open or closed here. Just take some time to touch into breath. Noticing the change with every breath. This inhale is different from the last one. It's different air, it's maybe a different volume. This exhale isn't quite the same as the last. Even the small aspects of inhale and exhale. Notice how breath is always changing. Your thoughts are always changing. Your body is always changing. Your environment is always changing. What notices this change? What notices your breath? What notices when you feel happy or sad or hungry or cold? Could that be mind? Generally speaking, the willingness, the openness to meditate assumes that we accept there is a mind, and the premise that it's possible to tame our agitated mind. Even just touching into breath helps us to recognize some of our basic spaciousness, some of our basic goodness. If we're upset, oftentimes people suggest take a few breaths. When our mind is agitated, we notice an agitated world. We see an agitated world. If our mind is open and spacious, we can see a world of possibility. See how that fits. Maybe the idea that balance and clarity of perception leads to engaging with the world with that same balance and clarity. And as we become familiar with mind, we might begin to notice a natural warmth toward ourselves, a natural warmth toward others, a friendliness. As our mind begins to become more spacious, we hold on to ourselves, our sense of identity, a little more lightly. See if you can touch into that lightness, that spaciousness. Maybe you could even find becomes a spontaneous warmth and care, a concern, a compassion for ourselves and for others. We've talked before about that idea that our desire to be happy and free from suffering is a natural expression of our innate loving kindness, our innate compassion. And through touching into that, into connecting with that compassion, that spontaneous connection to others, we recognize we all want to be happy. We all want to be comfortable. We're really all the same. Some a bit more skilled at times than others at finding reasonable ways to be happy and free from suffering. But we too can be very accident prone, mistaken in our pursuit of happiness. In our desire to avoid suffering, can we touch into that as well? all with the same motivations, all stumbling along, trying to be happy, trying to be comfortable. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all the same. Simply recognizing that everybody feels uncomfortable. Everybody feels unstable in these turbulent times. This is a bridge to others. A bridge to our sameness, or a signpost of our sameness. No matter what we believe, we all have the same motivation. And we all know when we're agitated, when we're unhappy, when we are ill at ease. This is an expression, a sign of our innate wisdom. We know that we can be happy. We know our natural state is happy and free from suffering. And our wisdom recognizes when we're off kilter. As our hearts open and our mind continues to stabilize, we can begin to work with our perception. We can start to recognize how we create our world, how we see what we look for oftentimes. If we look to be offended, it's easy to be offended. If we look for love and similarities, those are easy to find as well. We can begin to find some insight into our perceptions that shade our reality. We can probably all think of a time where we had a situation where, looking back, we recognized our perception was not quite right. Wisdom is recognizing the difference of how we perceive the world and how the world really is, and beginning to align those two so that we can begin to see the world as it is. When we see clearly, wisdom sets us free. Can you touch into your innate wisdom? Some might call it your intuition or your conscience. When we begin to see clearly, we recognize that things are constantly changing. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is solid. We can look inside us. We can look outside of us. Nothing remains the same. This can be quite unsettling. But when we keep working with it, when we recognize this quality that everything is impermanent inside us, that everything is impermanent outside of us, we will begin to recognize that quality in us that's always there. That quality that always knows. That part of us that's always spacious, always balanced. This is our true nature. This is timeless awareness. Always present. Very, very familiar. Quite unspectacular. The qualities of this awareness we've talked about. Loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, clarity, engagement, warmth, friendliness, that desire to move toward relieving others' suffering. Rinpoche also talks about our specific skills, our innate skills. We need to recognize these and work with that long view, that airplane cruising altitude view. Patience, courage, equanimity. This is what leads us to compassionate engagement. Leads to a rich and meaningful life. As Tim said, this is how patience turns into delight. See if you can see these qualities in yourself. Or at least work toward getting a glimpse of awareness. That which recognizes your breath. And as we become more and more familiar, the other qualities become self-evident. Now I invite you to drop any meditation technique and simply be present. Just allow your awareness to rest into itself. Just relaxing body and mind. Not distracted, but relaxed. Okay. And then before we finish, let's take a moment to dedicate any wisdom we may have gained, any compassion that we may have cultivated or accumulated, anything else that could benefit sentient beings. Just take a moment to think of that. And it feels right to offer that up to the benefit of all. Okay. So that brings us to the bottom of the hour, which means our 30 minutes are done. I want to thank you for spending time with me. I always appreciate sharing practice with you. Remember that Mingyur Rinpoche will be back here at Tergar Meditation Community on Sunday with a new teaching. And we will have stay home and meditate sessions with Robin on Friday. Franca will be here next Tuesday, and then Anya the following Friday. So be sure to check in and get some meditation in. So thank you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I look forward to seeing you again.